Hi, this is the 13th Wolfman, and this is another top 5. This is the top 5 villains. That's right, I said villains. Now, to explain what villains are, in the first one I did top 5 bad guys, and those were bad guys that were from horror films. The second one was top 5 monsters, and that just kind of, that runs the gamut of horror and, somewhat sci-fi, Now we've got top 5 villains. Now villains is everything that is not horror. So we're talking dramas, comedies, everything else. Adventures, action films, these are your top 5 villains. Now, for me, coming in at number 5, as far as villains go, would have to be the Cobra Kais from the original Karate Kid. These guys were just dinks. I mean, my God, they picked on this poor kid from Jersey until he learned to fight back for himself. Yeah, they were villains, but they were trained by another villain, which was just as bad. I mean, it was all about winning and not about learning, and he basically corrupted their minds. So all the Cobra Kais and the Karate Kid. That's number 5. Coming in at number 4 would have to be Lex Luthor in the original Superman movie. The one played by Gene Hackman, not the one played by Kevin Spacey. The original movie had a lot going for it. No one had seen Superman on the big screen since the 1948, when it was Superman versus the Mole People. I think it was the last time he was on the big screen. And so we got to revisit Superman, and we got Lex Luthor, the man behind the brain, I guess is what you would say, as the evil genius. Now here's where they kind of screwed up when it came to the other Superman movies. They didn't expand the villainy too much. I mean, the first movie you got Superman, the first movie you got Lex Luthor. The second movie you got Lex Luthor and General Zod. Ooh. Third movie, they didn't really have Lex Luthor because, well, I have no idea. But you got Richard Pryor and a Lex Luthor-ish type of villain. And the fourth movie, Lex Luthor again. The fifth movie, another Lex Luthor. I mean, come on. He's got tons and tons of other villains that you can go up against. That's why Luthor only makes it to 4. Coming in at number 3 would be the head of the Alpha Betas in Revenge of the Nerds. Again, I'm just going by total dinkness here, These guys were total tools, if you ask me. They just thought that, it was their job to rule the school and push everybody around until... And you needed that. You needed the jocks versus the nerds, Ted McGinley did a great job playing the head of the Alpha Betas, and the guy that played Ogre. Again, I'm blanking on names right now. I don't know why this is happening to me tonight. But the guy that played Ogre did a great job being a total anti-nerd, So yeah, that's number 3. Coming in at number 2, Goldfinger, from the James Bond film Goldfinger. Aurora Goldfinger was one of the coolest of all the Bond villains. I mean, he didn't really go for world domination like some of them, did. Like, I want to rule the underwater sea, and I want to rule space, and all this guy wanted to do is just turn everybody's gold nuclear so that his gold would be worth more money, you know? It's not world domination, that's just greedy, you know? But yeah, Goldfinger to me was like one of the cooler. I don't know. For some reason, I liked that Bond villain a little bit more than the rest. And there were a lot of really cool Bond villains, but that's the one that just kind of leaped out at me as one of the cooler ones. So then, what's number one? Who is the worst? I mean, the number one villain in my book? It's got to be Darth Vader. The guy starts out as a kid, gets a little corrupted, turns evil, and then tries to kill his own son. Come on. I mean, that's it. There's nothing else to say. Darth Vader is the number one villain. Without Darth Vader, you just got a bunch of people flying around in space having a good time with a walking carpet. So what are you going to do? So that's my top five. Tell me your top five, the top five villains. And these are villains, the ones that don't belong in horror. Everything else, you want to talk about The Godfather, you want to talk about Goodfellas, you want to talk anything else but horror. Comment, video respond. It's all good. I'm the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.